Hey everybody, Charlie92 here and welcome back to Star Citizen. We're back at IAE for day 5, Anvil Aerospace. As you can clearly see in the background there, we've got some nice ships on display. Let's take a quick look at the kiosk here, see what we got to look at. Looks like we have a couple of halls on the side there and some stuff underground. So let's go check it out. So Anvil Aerospace primarily is a military ship developer. They're known for their angular designs, as you can see here, and hardy armor, I guess is a good way to say that. Very tough armor on their ships. Let's get started with the closest one. This is the Terrapin. All right, as you can see, it looks kind of like a terrapin or a turtle of some sort. This is a exploration ship, but I feel that's kind of a misleading title. It seems to me more like a forward scout for a military operation. It has on top, you can kind of see the dish up there, a medium-sized scanner, which is large for a ship of this size, which is a tiny little ship. Actually, radar, I guess, would be a better way to say that. And you see you have your scanner station right here, which looks like Darth Vader's chair. But it's heavily armored and is meant to go forward into dangerous areas with a bunch of armor and scout. So it's really just a forward scout. But they dub it as an exploration ship. I like this ship a lot. I don't own it in my fleet. It seems expensive for what it is. 220 bucks, pretty high for this type of ship. If this was more like 150, I'd probably own one. We got a couple of weapons. I do believe those are size 2. They may be size 3. Don't quote me on that. Check it out for yourself. And you can see up here the armor has these flaps that are raised up in this configuration that allow the heat to vent out of this thing. So I would imagine the idea is you go park this on an asteroid or some debris in space and then power down and allow the heat to vent and just kind of silent watch. VTOL thrusters, I really like that design. That's a recurring theme with Anvil ships. You see that the main thrusters aren't really that big, but there are VTOL thrusters that assist in forward thrust as well. Let's go ahead and take a look inside. Let's turn on our light. So you do have some living quarters in here, and you also have, well, that's the radar, so I guess that would be the scanner. You also have component access inside. So you've got a shower toilet, a bed, a microwave. You see your life support, jump drive. Can we open the jump drive? No, we cannot. You have armor or EVA suit storage, weapon storage. So you actually have a pretty good complement of living facilities inside of here. Then you got this large amount of wasted space with this scanner chair here. And then as we head up front through the neck of the ship, you see there's more components, and then you have the seat for the ship there. That's enough about the Terrapin. Let's continue on. If you're interested in having a tiny forward scout, this would be a great companionship to something like a Polaris or something of that sort. Now, next we're going to go check out one of my favorite ships of all, which is also the snub to one of my favorite ships of all, but we'll talk about that in a second. This is the Pisces. Now, based off of this is a C8X because I can see another set of weapons here. So there are 4 size 1 hardpoints on this. I believe they're gimbaled. And I love the aesthetic of this. It looks like the shuttlecraft from Star Trek The Next Generation, right? But you throw a couple of wings on it. And that's really actually what it's meant to be. It's meant to be the snub ship for the Carrack back here. Now, in concept, it was meant to be a snub that did not have a quantum drive, but it kind of got upgraded to be a full-fledged mini ship with its own quantum drive. So this thing is actually quite amazing. You can see it's really easy to get in. You got ramp access. You have cargo on either side. I believe it's for SCU. I may be wrong in that. 2 jump seats. And then, of course, the pilot seats. And then there's internal component access. So you see the scanner, shield generator, things like that. But the cool thing is this is a great tender ship because you can, ferry passengers. You can ferry packages. Awesome little ship. And it's so small. Low profile. Not very wide when the wings are folded up. It fits just about everything that has the ability to fit a ship in it. Great little ship. Now, new for IAE this year is the C8R, which is this guy. All right, C8R, basically the same thing, except for you lose the weapon hardpoints on the wings. But if we can go in the back here, check it out. It's a medical ship. Kind of like an ambulance, right? Got a tier 3 medical bed. Very cool. You cannot log out on this, so do not buy this variant thinking that you're going to make it into a space RV. This is to stabilize patients until you can get them to a hospital, i.e. a higher tier bed like on the Carrack up here, or to an actual hospital on a planet or settlement or something like that, or maybe even like a Endeavor Hope. You still have your jump seats. Well, you have a jump seat rather, so that's for your EMT, I would imagine. And then you've got your pilot seat, which is the similar as the front. You also have a medical assistant here. This is for the bed, to control the bed. There's a couple of doors down here. Don't know what they do yet, but cool looking. Stool sample maybe? Who knows? And I like this little door here. Kind of gives the aura of that's a clean room. Actually, I think that's actually what it is, because if you look here, it looks like these are sterilization of some sort. Pretty cool little ship. I'm definitely interested in this ship. I may upgrade my Pisces to that, but the problem is I just feel like having the cargo and 2 jump seats is probably better for the Carrack anyway, because the Carrack has its own medical bed. Alright, let's keep looking. There's some other ships dotted about here. Alright, over here, you guys may have heard me mention this on some of the other ones. Oh, there's a Gladiator too. We'll go check that out. We'll get to you in a second. So this is an Anvil Gladiator. This is a bomber, and it is one of the oldest ship designs in Star Citizen. It has not had any updates to it that I'm aware of. It is a cool design. I really like how it looks. You actually have a... Let's see if we can get it to come down. No. You can see there's a track here. You have... the seats will come down, and you sit in the seat and ride up. So there's one for the gunner for this turret, and then there's one for the pilot, of course. And then down here, you can kind of make it out. This is the bomb bays. You can kind of see that's the door here. And it has torpedoes. Whoops, I did not mean to hit that. It's trying to get me to rent it. It has torpedoes, but it can also fight. You see, it's got a pretty good suite of weaponry, including these up top, and missiles as well. It's been stated a long time ago that you could swap out the bomb bay for like cargo and other things, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. As of right now, this ship needs some love, and it hasn't gotten it in a long time. I feel when they do a Gold Pass update on this, though, this will be relevant again. But as of right now, people generally don't fly this ship just because it has not been updated to the current standards of the game. I like it. I like the idea of it, but I wouldn't buy one with cash. That's just me. But you guys know me. I don't typically advocate for spending money on fighters, as you can earn those fairly easily in game, and they usually do not have much variety when it comes to mission types other than just fighting. If you are in the market for a light fighter, this is the one I would get. This is the Anvil Aero. One, I just love the aesthetics of it. I think it is just a sharp looking ship. Two, it is so small. It's only slightly bigger than that Pisces over there as far as height. I think its width is probably actually skinnier, and its length is maybe a little bit longer because of the tail. But because these wings fold up the way they do, you can fit this ship in any number of ship carriers. Any ship that's made to carry another ship, minus the Carrack, you can fit this thing in. And for $75, I think it's a pretty good value as far as fighters go, because the next one up would be the Gladius, and I believe the Gladius is $90. And this thing performs just as well as the Gladius. A little less shielding, but greater speed and maneuverability. Maybe not top speed, but greater maneuverability for sure. Definitely a cool looking ship. All right, let's head over to the other side before we go into the big boy here. Now, I have a full walkthrough of the Carrack, full review on my channel. I would recommend checking that out. We'll just take a peek in this bottom level here and talk about a few things. I'm not going to do a full walkthrough of that. That will take a very long time. This one is cool. I don't think this fits with the general style of Anvil ships. I mean, yeah, the pointy front does, but the fact that it's folded up like an anime fighter, which, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing. I actually think it's really cool looking. It just doesn't scream Anvil to me. The front pointy nose does, but that's about it. It almost looks like one of the alien ships we saw before of how it folds up like this. This is the Anvil Hawk, and is a very cool ship. This is a bounty hunter ship. It has, I believe, 6 size 1s, and they may have been upgunned. I think I heard something about that. They may at least all be gimbaled. And then in the back here is something very cool. Let's see if it'll let me actually activate it. Oh yeah. In the back is a very creepy prisoner seat. It's not extending. It used to extend out. So that seat will actually come out and fit right here. You can put a prisoner in it, and then it will retract. Now, another creepy thing you can do with this is you yourself as the pilot can get in this seat and log out. So this becomes effectively a bed for the pilot or a prisoner pod for your bounty. You actually have this cool little window on the bottom here. I really think more ships deserve more visibility to the ground. The idea is that you can hunt down your prey by looking down through there. Very, very maneuverable and fast ship, and it does have an EMP to help disable those pesky bounties. Very cool ship. I love that thing. All right, now here is the new meta heavy fighter. This is the Hurricane. The Hurricane is all about the turret. If you can kind of see it up there, there are 4 size 3 weapons on that turret, and then you have 2 size 4s for the pilot. Personally, I gotta be honest, I don't like the look of this ship. Just the big triangle with little curly wings on it. Not my favorite as far as aesthetics. Now, function though, this thing functions as a fighter, especially if you got a co-pilot back here manning this turret. You can do some crazy damage with it. It's also been up-shielded to a medium shield, so it's more in line with heavy fighters. This is how you get into the turret. Can we just open it? I don't know if it's just a black hole down there. But it's the same as the Gladiator, where the seat is on rails and will come down to the bottom. You set in the seat, and then you ride the seat back up. Same thing for the pilot here. Overall, for a heavy fighter, it's actually quite small, which allows it to fit on a lot of carriers and a lot of ships that are designed to carry other ships, not this one. All right, next is the Anvil Carrack. So this is a demilitarized, I guess is the best way to say it, exploration ship. And it is probably the best ship in the game currently. As far as like what it can do, it doesn't need a fleet. It can go out on its own. It's got repair facilities. It's got, look at this rover bay here, complete with like a little blast door. It's got 500 SU of cargo. It's got a medical suite. It's got everything. It's got drones. So look at this. These are cargo pods. These are supposed to be modular. And eventually these doors, I believe, are supposed to open up on the side like the Caterpillar. But you're supposed to be able to switch these out for different modules to add even more flexibility as to what you can do with this ship. And we're just following this individual here. I'm just going to go to the ground floor here. It looks like I'm about to die of thirst, too. So you have an armory. Here, we'll show it here. Check it out. Armory, armor. And then it even comes with a Ursa rover for the rover bay. And it comes with a Pisces because it has a hangar up top. So you can use that to scout or, like I said, shuttle things back and forth. Let's get out of here. I noticed my thirst meter is going down incredibly fast. So we'll go ahead and try to wrap this up. Let's go ahead and go downstairs. I'm going to try not to run. That makes the thirst go down more. Hopefully we can get this done without my vision going all wonky. I'll have to drink before the next episode. Either that or just, off myself. That tends to work too. All right, so yeah, I'm interested in that C8R. That's an interesting ship. Now, I mentioned the C8X was the one with the 4 weapon hard points. The one that comes with the Carrack is just called the C8, and it only has 2 weapon hard points. But other than that, it's the same as the C8X. So, ground vehicles, I'm not too crazy about. This is the Ballista, which is a surface-to-air missile system. Pretty cool shape to it. This is called the Anvil Atlas platform, so there are various ground vehicles that use this overall design. The one with the AA missiles there, that's the Ballista. We'll check the other one out on the way out. Let's go look at the hollows real quick. All right, so this is the Legionnaire. This is a boarding ship. There's actually in the front here, there's a docking collar. And then you have, it's basically like what's the word I'm looking for? I'm drawing a blank right now. Here, let's see if we can see it. Yeah, it's for boarding, right? So it's got drop seats inside, and you're supposed to be able to connect to a enemy ship, and then those in the drop seats will just come forward with your Marines and take over the ship. It's kind of cool. It's not my play style. I like how it looks. Aesthetically, it's very pleasing. But yeah, just my play style. It's too focused on being a boarding ship. It may function double as a drop ship, but even still, those are too niche for me to want to actually purchase with real-world cash. This ship I do own. This is the Anvil Liberator, and it's a very unique-looking ship. That's because in the center here, we have a couple landing pads, actually 3. We have an extra small, I think it's extra small on the front, and then extra smalls on top, and a garage right here. It's hard to tell, but this is a garage door, and you can fit some tanks or some ground vehicles in there. Basically, it's just a small transport ship, and I say small, it's really not small overall, but for the fact that it's a carrier, it would be the smallest in the carriers to be able to carry this much, 3 ships and a couple of tanks, a couple of ground vehicles, and the crew requirement is pretty small with 2, pilot and co-pilot. Now it's got living quarters and stuff on it for the crews of the ships that you're carrying, but the ship crew itself is only 2, and I really like that, the Anvil Liberator. All right, coming over here is the Anvil Crucible. I also own this one. This is a repair ship. This top disc portion here, that's the bridge, and it's supposed to be able to rotate. And then up at the front is called the Scarab. It's open right now. That is a hangar with an open top that you can put a small fighter in and repair it. There's arms that will come out and repair. Then you can also drop this Scarab. It has its own life support, power, and everything else, and use the arms, sans this large garage at the front, and go repair larger ships with the arms just kind of attached to the side of them. Definitely cool. This is kind of the top tier repair ship. It's known as a toolbox of a ship. Very cool. The Anvil Crucible. Man, why is my thirst meter going down so fast? Very unrealistic. So here is the Anvil, what is this one called? Spartan? Centurion. Once again, AA, but this time with guns instead of missiles. It's got a turret on top. We can just take a glance in here. There's the pilot seat. There's the gunner's seat. And then there's no area in the back for that one. There is one called the Spartan. I believe it's the Spartan is the personnel carrier one that doesn't have the guns on the back. It just has rooms for like Marines to sit in. All right, let's go to this secondary hall before I pass out from thirst. It's over this way. Apex Hall 3. Should have the Hornet series of ships to look at, and what else? Something else. It's escaping me at the moment, but we'll see when we get in here. 17% before I die. Awesome. All right, let's keep going. Trying not to run. 16%. We're dropping fast. There's the Spartan. I talked about it. Oh, yeah. So we have 2 here. This one is unavailable for us to purchase. This is in Squadron 42. This is the current UEE heavy fighter, the F-8 Lightning. Can't rent it. Can't fly it. I mean, I guess you can if you steal it from those that are the NPCs that are flying it, but you can't keep it. This is a ship that has said it's not going to be sold. You have to earn this one. It's the current heavy fighter. You can see it's got tons of guns all over it. Looks very cool. This one is the Valkyrie. I have a full review on this ship on my channel. Go check that out. Valkyrie is a military drop ship with lots of guns all on the side. We'll just take a peek in the back here. You have crew quarters up top, area for either cargo or a vehicle, and then if you look on the sides here, you've got a ton. Come on, open. ton of drop seats, this side and the other side. And then you have these side doors complete with little guns that you can access. It's a very cool ship. It's very expensive. $375 seems high for what you get. But if you're really interested in having a close air support drop ship, that's going to be what you would want. Moving on, this is the Spartan. Remember, it's the same platform, the Atlas platform, but instead of missiles in the back, we have crew seats in the back. And we've got another door on this side for easy egress and ingress. All right, let's go check out the Hornets, and that should be it. So CCUs today, you have Warbond CCU for the C8R that will save you $5. You also have a Warbond CCU for the Anvil Super Hornet, which we'll look at once we get over here, which will save you $15 if I remember correctly. And you can chain those two together, save $20 for either Super Hornet or anything that's more expensive than a Super Hornet. And don't forget, if you want to save even more money and you don't have a ship to start with, you can buy the Cutter for Warbond. Save yourself, I believe it's $10 that you save with Warbond for that, which would save yourself another $10 total, which would be $30 total saved on something that's more expensive than the Hornet. All right, so we have a selection of Hornets here. We'll look at them rather quickly. The black one here is the stealth variant. This is called the Hornet Ghost. This is their medium fighter, very tanky. These wings fold forward, so they're in the retracted position right now. This one has a single pilot. The F-7A, if you'll notice, it has a different shape. This is the one that's currently in use by the UEE for medium fighter. This one you cannot buy either, and it's upped gunned. You can see the guns are a little bit larger, the intakes are shaped differently, the nose is a little different. Can't buy that one, but it certainly looks cool. In Squadron 42, I imagine we'll be flying that around. All right, here we go, the F-7CM. All right, whoop. That's your Super Hornet, the one I was talking about with the CCU. Now, the Super Hornet has a longer cockpit, if I can speak correctly, because you have a pilot and a co-pilot who sits in the back and controls this turret. It's also got this canard mount up here, which features a couple of weapons. This can be removed, and you can place a single larger weapon there if you want. All right, and then this is just the regular Hornet. All right, so you see how the cockpit and the nose is a little bit shorter than it is on this one. So you only get the pilot with this one. Now, the Hornet series, I failed to mention this yet. If you'll notice here, there's a round section. Now, that's modular. So based on the model that you get, that changes. This one, we have a turret up top. This one, we don't have a turret. You can put a box there to actually store cargo. It's called a Store All Big Box. Or you can put a flash fire mount up top and put a size 4 weapon up there. Pretty cool that they made a little modularity for these fighters like this. The Super Hornet is, or the Hornet is based upon armor and basically being tankier and less maneuverable than like the Aegis Saber, which is the medium fighter from Aegis. So here we go. This is the tracker. So it replaces the turret with a scanner. See if we can see it jump. Nope, can't quite see it. So there's a scanning dome up there. Same as the regular Hornet. It's only one person for the pilot. You can see you got the weapon down there, and you got a antenna, which would denote some type of sensor suite there. And then finally, we've got the Masters of Flight series. This is the Hornet Wildfire, featuring the Wildfire livery, or livery. See, it has the size 4 weapon already up there, so you don't have to go and purchase the mount, the flash fire mount. It's already on it. And it's got a bespoke weapon and component loadout already upgraded for you. And before we die of thirst, that's going to be it for Anvil. Let me know what you guys are interested in, which vehicles you like, which vehicles you decided to purchase, which CCUs you purchased. And if you agree with my opinions, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Just let me know in the comments. Everybody's entitled to their own. That's why they're called opinions. All right, stay tuned for the next episode. Let me check my roster here, where it looks like we're going to have Argo, Greycat, Kruger, and Consolidated Outland tomorrow at day 6 for the IAE. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.